Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Watcher of Realms video, and today we are joined by a special guest. In fact, someone I've done collabs with now for years, but on a different game. I'd like to welcome Cold Brew. Cold Brew, how you doing?
Hey man, I'm doing great. It feels so different doing a collab on a different game,
Yeah,
and it's just a game that we share similar interest of. I've been playing it for a little bit longer than you. I think a
sure.
month more than you. So I love jumping on these collabs. I've done one with Ash as well because he's a new
Nice.
player as well. Gave him some tips of mine, and yeah, I love
Yeah.
this new excitement about this game. Feels different.
Well, I'm absolutely loving the game. So I know me and you both did a kind of like almost like a play test of this game. We were
Yeah,
talking
we
about it
did.
earlier, like maybe 18 months ago or 2 years ago when it was like in its infancy. They basically asked us
Yeah,
for feedback, what sort of things should happen. And since that point, I mean, the game it's almost like a different game. And I know it was decent back then, but I remember the feedback. I was like, look, the campaign feels a bit stale. There was a bunch of things which I
yeah.
kind of like fed back, and just feels like they massively taken that on board. And now I mean, it's my favorite game to turn on right now. So that's cool. Um,
Yeah, the game feels so much better than when we initially played it, and they are trying to improve as much as they can and take it in feedback, which I like.
Yeah, yeah. So look, today's video, what we're going to do is go through each of the factions and basically call out our favorite epics in the game. And Cold Brew knows a bit more than I do, so I might be calling out some ones that I've just heard of or have seen that are good. And Cold
Right.
Brew hopefully is going to be like, whoa, HH, this is not the one. Um,
Yeah.
and then we are going to do a collab on Cold Brew's channel as well. I will link it down below. Make sure you go and check that one out, and also sub to his channel. But I guess let's jump into this, man. We're just going to go
Yeah.
through like faction by faction, and
Yeah, let's just go down the list and
let's go down the list, see which ones we've been loving. So I guess I'll kick off the first one, and then you can kind of kick off the next one. And I think already in the Watchguard, there's a number of heroes which I think are actually really cool in the epics. So I mean, fusible light, is it Lightlock?
Lightlock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lightlock is decent. You can pick up for a very small amount of cash Iona, who I think is
Mm-hmm.
decent. But my call out is going to be Idril here with
Yeah.
the
I guessed it.
maximum range ultimate, which I think is quite a cool concept for this game. And basically being able to hit anywhere on the map when the ultimate goes off, I think it's just a cool, just a cool thing for an epic to have in the mix. What's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, there's not many heroes in this game that have like global ultimates, and
Yeah,
I think she's the only epic that has this. I still don't know all the epics and all their skills and stuff, but I definitely
sure.
know her. I've used her multiple times, especially the campaign. She comes in clutch. Like there's times I'll give her my best gear just so that I can use the global ultimate at the right time to snipe out an enemy, so I can
Yeah,
pass through to the next stage.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice. Would she be your top one, or is there others that you'd call out in this faction that you've used?
In this faction, I would call her as a really solid one, but Iona comes in very close, like the one you called as well.
Yeah,
She has very strong AOE for an epic, and
sure.
she's definitely like a candidate for maxing out her skills and getting using awakening stones on her if you have them.
Right.
She's
Yeah.
a very strong epic.
Okay, nice. And I don't know Cyrene. I've heard of Cyrene.
Yeah,
Why would
I
it be? Oh, because
used
she's boosting your crit for your whole team. I think that's why.
she's a cost generator, so if you see her tagged as well, it says like cost region buff. It's an easy way to get
Okay.
an idea of what they do, but she just gives in back her cost after a little while when her ultimate pops out. So
Yeah.
for the 11 cost that you drop her down, she gives you back 12.
Oh,
And then if
nice.
you have
Okay.
her out for another, duration of her ultimate, you get another 12 cost back. So it's a way to drop in big heroes much quicker
Yeah,
with
I actually
that kind
really
of
like
hero.
that system in the game. I was using a cheap rare to do the same thing.
Yeah,
Navi,
there's
I think
other
it
heroes
is.
that do the same
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, let's move on to the North Throne then. And again, I mean, there's some heroes here. I was actually thinking Lightlock is in this one, so some of them double up into two factions, which
Yeah.
is quite
Some
interesting. Yeah,
have double faction.
yeah.
Um,
So who's your kind of like call out for this one, man?
For this one, there's so many good ones,
Yeah.
but I will call out Maul. I've been loving Maul. He's the shark
Oh,
looking
okay. Yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like
Oh, no,
him a
it's wrong
lot.
one. Wrong one.
I've been using him.
This
Yeah,
one.
the shark. Yeah, that guy. I've been using him a lot. He has a very cool auto skill where he applies defense reduction on his auto attacks, and defense reduction it can come in clutch on those high defense enemies.
Okay.
And his ultimate as well can do like a knockback, which you can make into a freeze if you awaken this guy out.
Oh,
So he
nice.
becomes a very strong burst hero to have in your team as well. So control, damage, and the only thing bad about him is the cost. I would say it's like 22 cost, which can
22
be
is high, yeah.
can be high. Although if you do have the copies and stuff, you eventually get him to 17, which is
What,
very
through
nice.
the awakening?
Through awakening, yeah.
5 costs less. Yeah, nice. Interesting. I literally just picked him up today, so no, glad you called that one out.
Yeah,
I've been loving, honestly, Vortex as my kind of like main healer. He's
of
just
course.
got such a crazy range on his heal, and I think pretty decent cost for what he does, like massive amounts of healing and shielding as well. So even if someone doesn't need a heal, you kind of top them up with a shield.
Yeah, I've got legendary healers, and I'm still using Vortex more than them. Yeah.
Yeah. But as you
he's
said,
so good.
other really good ones here. Like even the starter you get here, Mary, I think is. I mean, I'm still using her in some PvP stuff. I'm still using her in
very
like
strong.
Gear Raid 1.
Yeah. Very strong control that she has, and her ultimate just freezes like a circle type of AoE. Very strong. And Olag is one as well I wanted to call out. But since we're doing one, he's
it's hard, isn't
the
it?
tank that you don't
Sometimes
have,
Olag,
but you'll get him for free once you get to level 40, I think, and you start doing the Void Rift.
Right.
They give you out one for free, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
He's one of the best tanks in the game, actually.
Oh, is he? Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the Nightmare Council then. I guess I go first on this one. I'll admit, I don't know that many of these epics. The only one I've used and I've got some decent playtime with is a tank, and that's Baron. And I'm finding him really cool. Like the ability to basically become unkillable with his unyielding, and then moving on to his ult where you can give him a big fat shield. I think the two kind of combined for me, certainly early game, where I've been struggling at points, is like it's just been clutch. Basically it's blocking paths for me, trying to just kind of like hold on whilst my mages regen ults and stuff can end up being pretty damn clutch. So yeah, I feel like Baron's been a good hero for me. Any of these which you've been using a lot?
I would say Baron I used at the early game when I was just lacking champions. I had this guy, and he was doing the work of a tank very well. I had him at level 50. I didn't need to take him to 60.
Sure.
Because I got better stuff by that time, and there's really some good decision making you need to do before getting 1 to 60. I'm gonna call out Wrath. He's a little bit higher if you scroll a little bit up.
Oh, I didn't realize you. Oh, damn. Yeah, I should call him out. Yeah.
You have him as well.
I have him, and everyone like I basically
he's
did
a lord.
like
he goes up there.
Yeah, I did a guild boss video, and everyone's like, "You are sleeping on Wrath," and I'm like, "Right, I need to level this guy out."
Wrath
tell us why, man.
Nuts.
Tell us why.
He's nuts. He's got a talent that boosts his crit rate, and he just gives a huge burst of attack to allies of the same faction if you place them down. So there's lots of guild boss teams that utilize Wrath's Lord skill.
I've been using this a lot. This Lord skill is nuts. Like, especially to the point you don't have to have all of the heroes down all the time. Like once you've deployed them at least once, you get the bonus. It's so good.
Yeah, he's just very, very strong, and he's definitely worth all the awakenings. You eventually get one for free. So what I did was I awakened him to 4, and then I slowly gave him the 5th one. Once I logged in. So
seems like the awakening to 3 is where he gets a kind of nice little
burning.
A burst of damage through the burn. Yeah. Damn, I actually was thinking to myself, I'm going to call out Wrath, and then I was like, oh, this isn't the faction with Wrath, but it is. It is. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the Cursed Cult, and it's going to be your first pick.
Yeah, lots of similar heroes to before, so I'm going to call out Iona this time around, and Iona. There's not that many epics here, and some of them do share. I don't have many experience with some of the other ones, like I don't have Hollow, I don't have Atrox, fighter guy. I don't have the other guy with the 2 heads. So I really do have experience with Iona. I used her a lot at the start.
Yeah, I've heard good things about Hollow as a healer as well.
Because
she would be my next choice. Of like the rage regen and like slightly different style. If you're looking to get someone to kind of like get ults popping, then I think this can be quite nice. But Yeah, okay. So again, Iona seems to be the one that people really kind of like from this faction. Okay, I literally just picked up from the Infernal Blast. I just picked up Dolores. So, you know when it's like for the daily, I'll just pull one shard.
Yeah.
I was halfway through recording a video,
Was that
and
it?
I was just waiting for something else. Pulled a shard, went out,
Yeah.
came back in, and Dolores is just on the screen. I'm like, whoa! Just picked up. Like, I mean, this is
Just a
maybe
present,
the
yeah.
best epic in the game. Do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
She's up there in terms of being a non-lord epic.
Hmm.
She's fantastic for what she does, and I get so much hate in some videos that I might do it like a showcase of a team, and I
Because
have
she's
her
in
in
it.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I get comments like, "You have Dolores, it just doesn't. This video doesn't count." I'm like, what? What do you want me
But
but to use
honestly,
the
like,
epic?
so there's not that many epics in
Uh,
the game. Like, people will
yeah.
pick it up relatively fast. Obviously, not
It
super
it
fast, but
depends. It depends because I still have epics that I didn't
I
summon, and
suppose, yeah, yeah, yeah,
done
that's
so
true.
many summons. So if there is like a 10x in the future with her, I would definitely recommend people to summon on it.
Yeah, and from what I'm seeing here, like even just getting the Awakening level 1 is huge on her because you get the additional
Yeah,
kind of effect of the inspiration. Like beyond that, obviously you get stats and all that sort of stuff. It's all
extra
good,
stats
but
and stuff. Yeah,
yeah, but it feels like that just Awakening 1 is just so big
she
on her.
she's definitely a candidate for those awakening stones. Like,
Yeah,
because getting copies of her, if you barely got the one, it's good to give her those awakening stones, which you get through the tithe. You get lots of those there, and
sure.
through the guild boss.
Yeah.
But yeah. So since you called Dolores, I'm gonna call
Okay, yeah.
out
Go on.
Pyros, who's a lord. Um,
I
a
don't have
lord
this guy.
epic here. He's very good if you've got other heroes here that can get the benefit from the lord skill,
Now, what's that
and
on
that's
this
why
one?
I do like him. He has the focus fire effect, which basically forces every his lord skill is like great because that gives an extra penetration, but
Okay,
his
nice.
ultimate ability has that focus fire effect, which basically forces everybody around the map, regardless of where they are, to join into the attack and help this guy
All
do more
right.
damage. So it's pretty cool as a skill.
So
And
is that almost like then become a global thing that people are then attacking something outside of their range, or no?
yeah. They don't attack with their own skill. They just join in, and he attacks
Right.
with their assistance in a sense. So he does
Yeah.
more damage based on how many of the same faction you have in there. So it's a
Oh,
pretty cool
okay.
effect, like you see it. And obviously the legendary lord has the better one, but I mean for epics, he's definitely you'll see teams using him in the highest difficulties of the guild boss just because they
Right.
don't have the legendary lord, and that skill that he has, the focus fire, is so strong.
Yeah, sure. Nice. Nice. I've not seen anyone talk about him before, so that's a cool
Mm,
call out.
yeah,
Okay, let's move on to the star piercers then. Again, there's some sort of duplication.
very strong here. Some heroes.
Yeah, I really want one of these lords, honestly. Um,
Yeah, you started the game a little bit like a week, I think, or two, maybe after. No, I think it was just a week after they gave out Lunarian for free, the Lord
yeah,
Epic. It
it was
wasn't for
actually
free. It was like a fusion fragment collection kind of thing.
right. Yeah, because I'm thinking like the lord bonus here goes so nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just as
It
extending
just
range,
works very
so
nice.
good. Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah. So any call outs here?
I guess other than the Lord there, I would call out the healer there, Nisande.
Yeah.
The one, yeah, that one. She's pretty cool if you're looking for something other than just the healer. She does some good healing, like a bounce heal, which looks cool, but she also provides attack speed boost on
Okay.
her passive on the heroes within her attack range. So that's pretty cool if you're using, let's say, fighters, because
Yeah.
they they love the extra attack speed.
Are you
So
saying this is almost like a weak source Dolores?
yeah, and yeah, she's not even close in the sense of how much Dolores provides to a team, because
Yeah.
that attack boost of like 40% of her own attack is insane. But some attack speed is also great. So it's
Yeah.
this
Sure.
Sunday is a nice alternative if you don't have Dolores.
Okay. I mean, I guess so. We already called out Idril here, and I mean, obviously, I would love the Lord. I have used a bit of Theowin. Does okay damage for me early on, but I didn't really feel like he was worthy of, taking up to that 6-star.
No,
Really pushing. He was
one that
okay
would be
early for me, but
worthy. Yeah, one that would be worthy. I mean, Theowen is not bad
Mm.
to get because you can also fuse him, I think, and you can get easy awakenings for him with multiple fusions. But
Yeah.
Brienne there, she
Which
is
one's
very
that?
strong in one of the gear raids because
Okay.
she does basically extra damage on airborne targets. So she can come in clutch and she has a low cost, so can be very
Sure.
useful
Actually,
for
yeah,
that
11.
specific situation. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, nice. Right. So Historia Order.
yeah. I barely use any heroes from this one.
Yeah. So I
I have
guess.
basically only used one.
Well, I wonder if it's the same one then, because this is the only one that I've
Yeah,
used so far is L'Oreal.
that's the one.
And in fact, I've used her basically naked, but I did
Yep.
take her promotion up to like 5-star because
Mm,
when you then pulled her back off the board, I think it's her ult. No, sorry, I think it's a passive or
talent,
something. So when you
talent.
or a
Yeah.
talent, sorry, yeah. When you pull her back off the board, you just get a load
Tons of
of
rage.
rage. So you can almost like half fill somebody's ults around her, and then that's it. Like, but it's very cool. You know, it's a again.
It
That's what
it's
I'm
a
loving about
strategy actually.
Watchers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's what I'm loving about Watchers. Is like there's these quirky kind of heroes that you don't necessarily use for their main abilities. You're using for some of their kind of almost like passives or talents.
Yeah, and her talent is amazing because getting your ultimate like 50% of the
Mm,
ultimate bar, getting it just because of Laurel is very strong. And some heroes just have a very slow recharging ultimate. So
yeah.
she is part of like a strategy where you drop her in to help them out and get some more damage going. So
Where do you use her? Like what content would you throw her into?
you can use her in any content where you need that extra rage.
Yeah,
I primarily used her in Gear Raid 1 in order to just basically get my ultimates going faster because you really need a lot of damage in
you need
there
a
to
lot
get
of those
the
AoE nukes, don't you? Yeah,
yeah, yeah, and usually mages have slower ultimates um than let's say marksmen, so
yeah.
having Laurel in there is pretty cool.
Okay, cool. Any other call outs here?
Not really. I don't really use any of the other ones much.
No.
Maybe at level 40 or 50, but I wouldn't call them out as being great.
Okay. So on to then the Chaos Dominion, which basically no heroes in this one. So this is like a
Yeah,
legendary faction. Right.
it's a brand new faction only added recently, so it's very hard to even have any of these heroes.
Yeah.
Um,
Have you seen any kind of playtesting of champions like Vladov here? It's pretty cool, actually.
no, I haven't seen playtesting, but all of this faction has a really cool like passive where it makes them much easier to drop down in arena fights. So that arena cost
Oh, yeah,
reduction
okay.
that you're going
Reduces the
over.
hero's cost by 5 in the arena, yeah.
So yeah, he goes from an 18, he goes to 13, and then the other epic I think drops to like extremely low, like 5 cost or something. For this
Wow,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
this
and
faction is
he
basically being made as like a PvP specialist
yeah,
faction, yeah?
yeah, because every one of them has that. That's
Yeah.
that passive.
Oh, that's actually quite cool. Okay, well, look, I mean, that's gonna kind of like wrap it up, but a really fun conversation, I think, because as you learn the game more and more, you start to realize there's actually a lot of really strong epics that can at least carry you through to or towards the late game. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, Cold Brew, thanks for coming on, man, and yeah, I guess let's go and record something for your channel, and everyone else, don't forget, go and check out the other video on Cold Brew's channel. Any final words, dude?
No, just keep an eye on all these epics because they're gonna definitely help you out pushing and gear is very important in this game. So don't think it's just the quality of the champion. You can use the epics with good gear and still progress and try to go to the higher difficulties of every part of the game.
Awesome. Well, look, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the sub button. We'll see you soon.